Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and today I was just going to talk about the devlog they just released. Now, if you hear in the background, it's my first attempt at trying to put some background music into my videos. I haven't really done it on any of the others, but I did get some feedback on that. So right now I just got some Girls Frontline music that actually I think works really well as kind of a background music. I might even use it in other videos not related to Girls Frontline. But if you have any other ideas of background music that I could use in my videos, go ahead and put those in the comments as well, because I'm always looking for ideas to improve on my videos. Now we get into it with the video. There's quite a few questions that were asked. We got a lot of good information on it and a lot of good stuff that's coming up and more verification for things that we are looking forward to coming up. So they did bring up in here, and I'll just kind of click through. They had someone put the comments here of all the questions that were asked. But I can kind of click through. They asked about the Steam version being launched here, and I'm just going to mute it here since there's really no point to hearing it because they don't speak English. But I believe they mentioned it's coming within the first quarter here. Yeah, first quarter is where they're expecting that to come out. Now, pretty much anybody, myself included, who cares? They got a PC client. Steam version, I mean, it'll be nice to have it on there. But I don't really care about the Steam version. I'll probably end up adding it and then maybe linking my Steam account to it. But I mean, it's not like the game's launching for anybody unless there's somebody that doesn't know about it until it actually launches on Steam for some reason. But that'll suck for those people who start once that's released because they're missing out on Suomi and most likely could potentially be missing out a couple other units. But we'll kind of have to see with that. Who knows? Maybe with the Steam launch, they'll have like a special banner for it. Then they asked the question, yeah, on the dormitory stuff, they're talking a lot of that coming into the future, more stuff being added. The biggest thing is something we had seen that was in the CN version, which if you look here, it's the live in-person model where you actually can walk around the Elmo. And it shows like some of the different ways that you can add to it. It's like you actually have your weapon cases there, but they have... they mentioned also some features around the decoration, so more stuff that you probably can earn in game to decorate it how you want. And then they even had like the extra feature they show with Macchiano here with the scary movie. So it sounds like this could potentially be coming sooner than it came in CN potentially. I mean, that seems like to be a big thing that I've seen in a lot of the things they mentioned in here is while we may not completely catch up to CN in terms of like the units and stuff, we're going to get their quality of life and stuff and extras earlier than they did within their life cycle. We've already seen that with the Platoon, which they mentioned that in here. Like they're trying to add this stuff in sooner than it got it in CN because it is available. They just got to make it work with the global version and us not having everything up to the same levels that they had on the CN version, like right now on the units. I mean, we've only had Suomi and Macchiato, so when it comes to like events, they have to modify them to kind of work with the units we have, depending on if it relies on something specific. So that's good there. I mean, that'll be cool with the open area. I'm wondering what they can add to it, but they did mention a lot of mini games and stuff, so more stuff that you can play within the game. And I do like that they have a lot of content in. I did see someone on Reddit saying, oh my goodness, they're giving us too much. But it's not. I mean, I feel like it's not too much. It's kind of the same thing I've seen with Sword of Convalaria. They're just throwing a ton of events at us in Sword of Convalaria. And I've just had to accept, especially if this is going to be a side game for you and not like a main game like this is currently for me, you might not be able to get everything done as long as you get the main things done. And the worst case is you're just missing out on some pull currency. The biggest things I like to avoid missing are maybe cosmetic type stuff that you weren't going to get in the future. But other than that, it's not too big a deal if you're not able to do every single little thing in the game. But it is nice that they keep adding new stuff that seems to be more like side stuff too, like mini games and stuff. It doesn't feel like it's going to be a necessary event type thing. It's just something extra you can play with in the game. They're looking at fine tuning some more third party stuff they mentioned here. And the one thing I think a lot of people like is they asked a question on the auto battle system. I think everybody knows how terrible it can be with a lot of units, like QJ just throwing her ultimate nowhere near any of your teammates, and she usually will do it last. And then that means even if people do attack, it's not going to trigger for her or get the bonus because they've already done their attacks before that. So they are including more refined, like he says, more behaviors for the unique units. So they're going to fine tune the units specifically to how they should act. And it's never going to be perfect. You can't automate perfection into them. So that it's not going to be that, but hopefully we'll have like QJs that'll like stay within a range and then used her ultimate maybe first, so that like your teammates can actually activate it, and then maybe the teammates will specifically try and stay within her range or attack enemies within her range to trigger it. So I do like that. We'll kind of have to see how that comes in the future, and it does sound like any quality of life on that comes in the CN version, it will be not far behind for us. So that is nice. So they're talking about here the rewards, since some of them have been shortened because they are shorter. Our events currently are shorter compared to CN. So he does mention no reduction in rewards for seasonal and that kind of stuff. And so we'll kind of have to see. We've already had like a first month. I mean, this is a devlog for actually being the first month of the game, but they are stating there is no reduction in rewards. That would have to mean, while timeline is shorter, it means the amount we get over that shorter period should be more, which I think is pretty nice. I still don't know, from what I understand, if we're trying to catch up to CN or we're trying to stay behind. They have stated they do not want to catch up. But if we are accelerating things a little bit, that means we will slowly catch up. And it could be like some other games that I've seen where we try and catch up to where instead of being a year behind, maybe we're only going to be 6 months behind. And that can keep some unexpected surprises for us in terms of not knowing certain things about units. Like right now, we're able to see expansion keys on units coming out now. Maybe if we're only 6 months behind, while we'll know what units are coming up, we're not going to know how they're going to add to them in the future, because that's one thing that I really like about Girls Frontline, is that they are willing to add, make older characters relevant again through the expansion keys or other tweaks to them to make them better. But then there is the biggest thing here, and it's one of the things that I've mentioned, that why you should be saving your standard tickets, and I believe it's right here, somewhere in here. And actually, it might have been in that one there. But he did verify that February is when they are looking to implement the rate up system. It's still in the final, their final phases of getting it working, but their plans are to do it in February. So like I was saying before, if you have standard tickets, just hold on to them for that standard rate up banner to become available. You will not lose out on that guaranteed 260. That'll still be there when we get it. And everything should be just fine with the banner you're going to be able to pull, and it's going to be like a normal limited one, but with the standard banner. And what that just basically means is when you hit the SSR, you have a 50% chance to get the unit that you want. If not, it'll be between the weapons or the other standard units. And then you are guaranteed on the second one. And so for people like me who've been just staving all their standard pulls, what it's effectively meaning is, since I'm going to have probably about 140 standard pulls by then, maybe a little bit more, I'm pretty much guaranteed a copy of whatever unit I pull on, which I'm going to be going for QJ. And that, alongside, say, that 260, can be where you can start planning your dupes out for the standard units. Like the main target ones are going to be QJ's V3, so that she applies overburn with her a support attack, and then you have like Tololo's V2. I think the V2, I can't remember what the V2 one exactly is, but I know that's a point you want to hit for her. Now we have a lot more time to hit hers because she's going to become a lot more relevant when Springfield comes out, so she's the second one I want to target dupes for. But then eventually Mosin Nagant's going to be another big one you're going to want dupes for. We haven't even seen what her expansion key is, but her V6 is already really, really good and works quite well with like Lena's common key, which can make it where any unit can trigger her support attacks, and you no longer have to rely on them being stability broken. So we'll have to see how she evolves in the future as well, because she has got all of her dupes are good, and who knows, maybe she'll get on a Springfield level character who brings her really up to the top. And then you're going to want to get her V6 in the future. So we'll just kind of see with that. And then they kind of just mentioned some stickers and stuff, and then final notes. I didn't see anything too crazy on this one, but they are paying attention to all their, like he's saying here, quality stuff. So we've had those like mini updates to any issues that have happened, and they are taking into consideration feedback. I mean, they've specifically mentioned a couple of them here, with like the auto battle being a big thing that people complained about, and they're trying to address that, as well as other stuff. But overall, it was a good devlog. I'm quite excited for Girls Frontline. One of the biggest things is this game, even though we're probably after the first month with when you kind of see how a game's going to go into the future, because the first month, generally, the first and second banner for all gacha games I played is like that honeymoon phase. Everybody gets tons and tons of pulls. They're using those pulls in those first units, and that's after like that first month when it dries out a little bit and then you're kind of just in that standard grind. That's where you see how well the game's going to hold on to players. And we've already seen that they've made a ton of money right off the bat, so that's good there. But just from anecdotal evidence, it seems like they are holding on to people as well. People are sticking around. And I've just seen this being different to other gachas because of my friends list. I originally said, hey, everybody when I was streaming, just go ahead and send me a friend request. My friend list is currently full, but as I clear it out, as people quit, I'll start adding people, and nobody's quitting on my friends list. I've maybe removed like 2 people, and I only removed them because they were gone for a day. And they were random people that I had added, but they were only gone for a day. And that's the big thing too. They're randoms. They weren't just people that were in my Discord or anything at the time. I kind of just picked up people because I wanted people to use my unit so I get that gold. And then I was like, I'll just start removing them as they quit, and people just are not quitting. So lots of good signs for this game in the future. A lot of new content coming up. It's quite exciting. If you like my content, if you could like, comment, subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.